You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
Now, due to time constraints, Don, on the part, whatever part we've just done, part one, is that part one? Time constraints, we stopped because we thought people can't concentrate for more than an hour. So
well, their attention span, that's the audience.
that's it. So now
you've got to know your audience.
As we finished, Don, you brought up a question about, did I watch the World Cup? Ivan, did you watch the World Cup?
No, I was
And your
working.
question was, Don, about coaches, I think.
Why,
if I can
why
remind
are they
you what
under
you'd
extreme
forgotten.
pressure? Even Graham Arnold, because he was under pressure prior to winning. Oh, well, you know, prior to the first game and also after the first game, there's criticism against France. Yet Australia seemed to be, did very well.
Your question is?
You know, now he's a sought-after commodity as far as the media are concerned. Why does it... They're under exceptional pressure, the coaches, and I think it's unwarranted. It really depends on the athletes you've got on the field as to how they perform.
Bit like AFL.
Exactly the same. Well done.
Yes, well, that's right.
It's a cattle you've got on the ground, and the players for Australia, and I thought they were just fantastic. And it comes back to one thing, Johnny. Australians put pressure, and it doesn't matter what sport you play. If you can put pressure, defensive pressure on, you cause mistakes. And it's very easy to do. It's not hard to do, putting pressure on.
Well, there's a revelation, Don. If you can put defensive pressure on people, they'll make mistakes.
Exactly.
That is what sport's about, Don.
That's right, but a lot of people can't do it.
But that statement
They can't do it. They're not
right.
disciplined to do it.
So probably coaches, AFL, soccer, football, whatever, any sport at all, probably the criticism they get is for not planning the tactics beforehand and having the team play to those tactics. But I'm with
Tactics go out the door. You don't know where the ball's going to go. We play with an oval-shaped ball that bounces this way, that way.
Don,
you can have all the tactics in the world, but the player has got to make a decision when he's out there, even the round ball.
I agree, Don, you're speaking to the converted. I agree with you. But when you have the ball, no matter what shape it is or what game you're playing, when you have it, you must have a paradigm, that is a pattern of play that all the team stick to. I know when you lose the ball, you're under pressure to try and get it back, but you've got to have a pattern of play, that a modus operandi that you adhere to. And that's where the coaches and the staff come in. Once the game starts, you might as well go and sit up in the stand with the rest of the audience, don't you think? And I thought Graham Arnold was fantastic.
But had Australia have lost, do you think Graham Arnold was fantastic?
You didn't let me finish why I thought he was fantastic, Don. I thought he was fantastic because he was asked about all this, criticised, and he said the criticism. He said, I couldn't care less about criticism. He said, the people criticising have no idea what they're talking about. They have no idea what we've planned. They have no idea of the capabilities of what I expect. He said, so you can shout all you like, and these are my words, you can speak all you like about what you think I should be doing, but you have no idea, and so it doesn't worry me.
But hang on. The media then take up a view, and they influence the people that make the decisions on the coach. And the people making the decisions on the coach have got no idea anyway.
Because they're journeymen, they're hacks.
That's right, but it happens in all sports.
Because they're journeymen and they're hacks. And
who are journeymen?
The media are journeymen who live...
but what about the people making the decisions?
Who live vicariously through... They live their lives vicariously through the people they write about and they comment on.
Yes,
and
but
you
the
know
decision makers are influenced by the media because they don't know the product themselves.
That's what Graham Arnold said. He takes advice. Why would he take advice from these people who sit? The courage of their conviction is reserved for those people who look on from the sidelines. Now, so on the World Cup, I thought Australia was fantastic and good on them. And the Americans, I'm not sure, they were good too.
I think they're unbelievable. The other thing that fascinated me, and I'll say, why doesn't Australian rules internationally looks at Ireland? I would go and look at some of the African nations. Cameroon,
to play
Senegal,
to play
Senegal, to find athletes over there and bring. Yes, we've got a couple there, but there are different. Depending on where you come from, they're different shaped bodies.
Yes, Don. But
and I would look at, they're very tall. That's what I noticed about the African nations, exceptionally athletic. Yep. And a lot of them are starting to play basketball in Europe.
Don, we have a little indirect experience with this because you're mentoring a young lad who's been out on my boat with John Locko, a bloke called, his name's Roo. We're allowed to say his name? Roo, isn't he? You listening to me?
That's not his name.
No.
I know that's not it. Do you want me to find his name for you?
No.
It is Roo. Yeah, well, give us his name.
It's like Sam. That's not your name.
Oh, Don, I was speaking to you about the person that we indirectly know.
I know what you're saying, you idiot.
I can tell
Keep going.
I can tell you his name. I've got it in my phone here. But I'm just saying to you, he is a tall lad from Senegal, is he? Or he is a tall, athletic lad from Senegal. But the thing that he was behind the 8 ball, and you pointed this out, and you wouldn't have to be a rocket scientist to point this out, is that if you're not brought up with this game inherently, if it's not in you innate from your start, it's very hard to understand the ball handling and the positional
but the
play.
Irish boys, I don't think
because they play a similar game to us called.
But you've got to handle a different shaped ball.
No, but it's the positioning and kicking it. If you come from Senegal and you've never seen a football before, but you're athletic, it's very hard to come to. A bit like Mason Cox, who took a while to become adept at playing our game. Don, do you not agree with that? Hello. Would you be so? Hello, Don. Now, do you know what about this? Give us your comment on this. Do you know the Japanese played and the bloke saved 3 penalty shootout kicks? The opposition.
3? I didn't watch that game.
Didn't he? He
saved 3.
He saved 3. I believe the Japanese.
Really?
It got down to penalty shootouts.
Yeah, I know.
And the Japanese
really
got thwarted 3 times by, so that man is.
Now hang on, were Japan shooting?
Yes.
Or was he a Japanese goal kick?
No, the whoever Japan were playing, I should know this, but I don't.
You should.
It was a 0-0 or it was 1-0. It was a draw, and they had penalty shootout
which
because
is cruel.
Well, they got through to the, and Ivan's looking it up, please. And he saved 3 shots on goal.
Unbelievable.
So Don, this is not what I brought this up for. The Japanese crowd, the Japanese supporters. Do you know what they did? After every game they played, they cleaned the stadium of rubbish. They picked up all the rubbish and they cleaned the stadium. Win, lose or draw.
Really?
This is their culture there. How am I going, Ivan? Go read it out, please.
I'm just watching Twitter. Even after a heartbreaking World Cup defeat, Japan fans still clean up the stadium.
Yeah, really? Tell us about Don. I hope I got that right. The bloke saved 3 penalty shots at goal, I think. Whoever they played, who'd they play? Anyhow, you'll look that up, Ivan, please. And so, how about that for a culture of decency and upbringing to clean the stadium? You make a mess of it, I'll clean it up, and you don't leave it to others.
Japan made the World Cup and did very well. Back in the 30s, I think it was, in Scotland or somewhere.
Do you know
they
what,
did very,
do you know what you do,
well
Don?
years ago.
Do you know what you do?
What?
When you're not sure of something, you actually
I've
don't
seen
even speak into the microphone as though you're just trying to think in your own brain. Do you know what
God.
Scotland did? I think they
So
might
Japan played Spain.
And
They beat them. Yep.
Spain beat them?
No, Japan won.
No, Ivan, fuck me dead, man. Get the latest. Japan were put out, I think. I hope I've got this right. I'll apologise if I haven't. Japan were routed because of 3 penalty shootouts saved by the...
Ivan's got his hand up.
Yep. Okay, so yesterday's results, Japan play Croatia. It's a draw, 1-1.
Go on.
Yeah, and then it's got beside it in brackets 1 to Japan, 3 to Croatia.
Okay.
I don't follow soccer. I don't know
Well,
what that
penalty
means.
shootout.
Yeah,
If
okay.
it was 1-1
Gotcha.
or 1-1 or 0-0 or 1-1, they had a
So
penalty
could
shoot-off.
you read on a bit further,
all
Ivan?
right, okay,
Did
here
the
we-
man save?
Yeah, he would have.
It says it's exciting. Croatia advances to the quarters.
Yeah.
Croatia comes out ahead on penalty kicks 3-1.
Okay, there you go. They saved 2. It was a 1-1 draw. I didn't see the game. But even Croatia, they produce some outstanding athletes, don't they, Croatia?
Ivan, I asked you
Basketball.
to confirm, did the man save 3 penalty shots?
Oh.
And all you did was read out a whole lot of jumbled fucking paraphernalia about...
All right.
Just tell me.
Yes.
Go ahead. Did it?
Yep.
Read
No,
it
I
out,
don't know.
please.
I'm just making...
So isn't that amazing, Don? The Japanese... Imagine asking Collingwood supporters after they get beaten by Sydney on the preliminary final to stay behind and clean the stadium up.
All right, here we go. I've got it. Croatia reached the quarterfinals of the World Cup in a dramatic 3-1 penalty shootout win over Japan in a tense last 16 clash. Ended
Round 16
1-1.
clash, yes. And does it say that the man, Frank Watson...
we know, Johnny, because he just said it was a 1-1 draw at the end of the game,
I want him
and
to-
it finished up 3-1.
All
So
I wanted him to confirm that the goalkeeper, just for the sake of the
we
conversation...
know that, Johnny.
Well, I don't know that we do. I don't know that anyone
you're
has
as
understood
thick as a
that.
brick.
No, I'm thick as a brick. I know what I know. I don't think most people listening would understand.
Oh, so
what
you're
we're
questioning
talking
their
about.
intellect.
Absolutely.
They're
What-
our listeners, and you're questioning.
Don, the majority of the world is not long out of the trees.
Oh, and where do you rank?
Well, we are probably
You? What, you were early out of the trees than everyone else?
Probably. I'd
What?
like to think that. Wander around the communities, John, and see
what?
how many people have been
Swander.
out of the forests longer than you
Swander.
think they have. Hey, God almighty, man, don't tell me that's been a revelation. Ivan's going to read this out shortly.
No, I don't want to do this.
I want you to tell me that the goalie
Why don't you?
for the opposition saved 3 penalty shootouts.
Come on, I've got to go and collect
Now,
some
hang
money.
on a minute, Don. I'm going to ask you now, would you like to know what the hostess said you should be aware of?
We had that 2 segments ago.
You only let me do 2 of them.
No, I'm not interested
them-
in the rest of them.
You're not?
No.
I reckon people who listen to this would be interested, Don. I'm going to give you another one. I said the crew assess you when you get on the plane. And then there's a protocol about chatting up the staff. What do you think the staff, the hosties, who people get on pissed like you and they say, "Hey, g'day, Dal, would you like to..." what do you think their attitude to that is? So there you are, see? So they are told to have in the past it was quite flattering to be chatted up, but then in the past they're quite politely asked not to encourage anyone to chat them up. That's what she says.
He or she?
Well, this was the woman that wrote
Oh,
this.
okay.
I'm speaking on behalf of
Or
all
her.
hostesses or hosties or all non-binary people who... they used to have a standard of... an aesthetic standard hostesses. They had to be
What type of standard?
aesthetic. They had to look good.
Yeah, that's
They had
right.
to be well groomed.
Yeah.
They had to be not overweight.
Yes.
They had to have good hygiene.
That's right.
And they had to be not too old.
Yes, that's right.
How many of those things have bitten the dust? Do you reckon?
Exactly right.
Some of the men and women
Exactly.
are fucking porkers. When you get on,
Porkers.
they can't even get down the aisle. But this is in the name of
Really?
diversity. Yeah, they can't.
What about the weight? They charged
I know.
extra?
They can only stand at one end of the plane when it lands, or else it lands on its ass.
All right, next one.
So that was style. I made all that other shit. I didn't make it up, but I added a bit there. Dogs and pets. Now,
You're allowed to take them on board.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
often
They're
hear
comfort
comfort
animals, aren't
animals.
they?
I'm telling you this now, Don. If I sat next to someone who came on with a Chihuahua or a dog or a fucking lizard or a gecko.
What type of
Miniature
animal
pony.
would they be allowed to take? You would be tolerant of a cat.
None.
Now you're a cat person.
Don, do you want an animal, whether it be a mouse, a rat, a fucking hamster, a parrot, a monkey? Would you, a little rhesus monkey? Would you, a gopher? Would you, or a gerbil?
Well, I was just going to. What about a gerbil?
Well, it could climb up your aort while you're on the flight. That might entertain you.
That'd turn you on.
That might turn someone on. I said, could you get rid of that gerbil, please? Yes, just a minute. And you just open your trousers and it gets up your aort. Now, Don.
Excuse
me. Don, no, excuse me. That was a bit off that.
Young children.
If you got young children, listen to this. Do you reckon? If you got on a plane and someone came on with a comfort animal, seriously, would you sit on a plane from here to New York or London or Dubai with a fucking monkey sitting on someone's shoulder?
It wouldn't worry me if it
It
didn't smell, or the person.
It didn't smell. What a plane
and
trained
the person
monkey.
was a nice person.
So you think it'd be house trained not
If
to have
I
a
wasn't
shit on a plane?
inconvenienced,
You think a monkey or anything else would be house trained not to have a shit on the plane? Do you? It's all I can do to stop you having a shit in the plane, Don. Talk about monkeys. Which you're probably closer to them.
Yeah, I was
than
just
you are.
thinking about that. It's 24 hours, if not more, on the plane to London, isn't it?
That's right.
It'd have to relieve itself.
Yeah, so where would it do that?
Yeah,
On
good
your
point.
lap while you're sitting next to the person who owns it. And you'd have... so she said, this woman, so monkeys, we've done that. This is more interesting.
Hang on, is this the air hostess who wrote the book?
Yeah, this is more interesting than potholes that you've brought up for the last 4 months.
No, I'm just making it more interesting. You have got no interest at all in potholes.
She didn't say you shouldn't, but she said it's not advisable to have tea, or when they come around and say, would you like coffee or tea? Don't have coffee or tea because they don't clean out the water containers that they boil the water in. They very rarely clean them out. And so there's a lot of...
So what are you saying? There's a lot of residue in the water?
Yes, a lot of bacteria. But if you boil the water...
No, it'd be dead if you boil the water.
That's what I said, Don. I said, but then when they let it cool down, don't bring it out piping hot because they can't serve it to you piping hot and bring it to you if there's 300 people on the plane. She just said, be wary of drinking tea and coffee out of the containers that they serve it on. The airline food, she said, is not that...
Jeez, has she got a bitch? Has she sacked this bird?
I was wondering about
retired.
that.
Retired?
I was wondering about that, Don.
I think
she
she's
said
got
the airline food is not that...
I think you should look at her credentials.
Look at her what, Don?
Credentials.
A bit
Why
like
she...
Sabrina. What do you mean look at her credentials?
Well, she got an axe to grind.
Aesthetically pleasing.
No, she got an axe to grind. She might have been put off.
Well, I'm just saying, she has written this book and she said the airline food is okay.
Have you read it?
I read the review, what she said, Don. Of course I didn't read it. I'm reading what the salient points were about it. She said, if you want an upgrade, here you are. You know, when you get on, you're all nice to them and you look at them bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And, can I have an upgrade if there's any spare seats? She said, if you want an upgrade, the best place to sit is at the back of the plane because they usually have, for weight distribution purposes, they usually have to move people from various areas of the plane. And if there's a vacancy up in first class or business, they'll usually go down to the back, she says, and ask people, would they like to be upgraded to the front? That's what she said. And she also said it is safer, this would be obvious because you've never heard of a plane back into a mountain, have you? It's safer to sit at the back of the plane as opposed to the front. But I would suggest if the plane's going to crash, it wouldn't matter where you sit. But that's what she said.
The tail breaks off, doesn't it?
The what?
The tail breaks.
Yes, it breaks off. You might be in it. And therefore the rest of the plane might catch on fire and you might be in the broken off tailplane. Well, that's what she said. She said also, putting your head in the brace position between your legs is absolute bullshit. That's a myth. All you'll end up is having your head stuck up your ass when it hits the seat in front of you. She didn't say that. I'm just expanding on that. She said the brace position sounds good, but it's meaningless. She said phones, Don, you know they ask you not to use phones, said absolute nonsense, has no effect on the plane at all, but they just do it so that you haven't got a whole lot of people ringing on the phone. That's what she said. The brace position, blankets and pillows that they give you. Very wary of them because they don't clean them that often and they're not very hygienic. Are you listening to any of this?
I don't think I'll fly in future.
Well, no.
I think I'll drive.
So that's. I found those things interesting about.
Did you really?
Didn't you find them interesting?
Oh,
Don?
fascinating.
Get on to
I'm riveted.
Get on riveted.
No, riveted.
Get onto the potholes again about when you drive.
Yeah,
your
but
car.
if you were to drive your E-Type or your Lamborghini down there, you'd be up in arms.
I do. I drive it down there often.
Where?
I just
golf?
told you. I told you.
To golf.
Yes.
Which you're going to take this week?
What's that? That's not what we're talking about.
Well,
we're
people might see you out in the road. They might see this Lamborghini or this E-Type or...
Camel milk, Don.
Hey?
Have a listen to this. They found out that camel milk.
Camel...
What's that, mate? Come here. Come here. What did you want?
Sit down.
Sit there. What's that?
Speaking to the microphone.
Just had someone
Here.
come in off the street.
Yeah, hang on. Speaking to the microphone.
Hang on,
woo.
What number are you? What number?
Number 3. John,
hello?
introduce
Yes.
yourself.
Yeah, who are you?
I'm JP.
JP.
I'm a drummer, yeah.
A drummer.
Drummer, yeah.
JP, was that, what's that?
Juan Pablo.
Juan Pablo.
Yeah.
From South
The race
America?
car driver.
I hate to say,
Chile,
I
yeah.
hate to
Chile.
say,
Indeed, yeah.
I hate to say
good.
Montoya, but that's where you get Juan
yeah,
Pablo
I always
Montoya.
get that one, yeah.
Now, Juan Pablo is just looking for my son. He's an
Are you doing an audition?
Don.
No, not really.
You just
and
wanna
I'm already
see.
working for him.
Don.
Are they puka shells you
There
have
you
around?
go.
Are they puka shells around the
I was
neck?
just introducing
No.
Don before.
Oh, yeah, these
Puka?
are from Hawaii.
Yeah, puka shells.
Just
Yep.
Don.
Good.
I
Yeah.
was
Yeah, I've got a necklace
introducing
similar
who
to that.
Juan Pablo is in case people wondered who we're speaking to and you interrupted. Speak to him all
Well,
you
we
like.
know he's from Chile. We
No,
know he's got
you
puka
do, 'cause
shells.
he-
And he's a drummer.
He told us off
And he's
mic.
auditioning.
He told us off mic who he was, so that this makes sense to people listening. Juan Pablo has come in to look for my son because they do a bit of entertainment together, and he's a professional drummer. Are you?
I am.
And
yeah.
and now, who is your role model in drumming? I
Buddy
love
Rich.
There's a few of them.
Yeah.
Depends on what type of drumming we're
It does
talking about.
indeed. You're quite right,
Yeah.
Juan Pablo.
Yeah.
But I remember Buddy Rich, Gene Krupa, and
Buddy Rich, if it has to do
Buddy
with jazz, yeah.
Nelson, Bill, not Nelson, Louis Belson. Belson, Rich, but there's a whole. Phil Collins is a drummer,
Yeah,
isn't he?
that's a good drummer too, but I do Latin drumming, so I look up to people who play Latin drums.
That's not
Yeah,
bongos, is it?
The best living Latin drummer for me is Giovanni Hidalgo, which is a guy from
And so,
Puerto
what's a
Rico.
Latin drummer as opposed
Latin
to a?
drumming, it's a branch of drumming.
But
Yeah,
They
but
would
what do
call
you
it
use? Your hands, sticks, or what?
Yep, you use your hands, you use
Conga.
sticks,
Is that
congas? Yep.
congas?
Yep. Congas, bongo.
And so
Bongos.
how many congas have you got in your ensemble? Have you got different
I have
sizes and
three.
shapes?
Yeah, I have 3 congas from 9.5 inches all the way through to 12.5.
And how do you
the
condition
bigger
your
the-
hands? Wouldn't that be hard on your hands after a while?
Not if you have good technique.
Right.
If you know how to use your hands.
So you don't have to
Injuries.
soak them or condition them in any way?
No, just normal. I patch them sometimes if I'm.
What
playing
did you
for
say his
several
name
hours.
was?
Giovanni
Giovanni. I've got the
Hidalgo
Latin
with
drumming
an
up
H.
here. What?
Hidalgo with an H.
Hang on.
Hidalgo. Yeah.
H
Hidalgo.
I Hidalgo
He's Puerto Rican.
drummer.
Puerto Rican.
Sad story, but he lost 4 of his fingers due to
Really?
diabetes. Yeah.
On the one hand?
2 different. Yeah.
Two different, so there's
he
2 on
lost,
each hand. He's like,
index finger, half of the middle finger, the full ring finger on the left, and on
God.
the right. See, he's left-handed, so
Yes.
he's dominant when he's
Yeah,
playing with the
the left hand.
So that's the worst that can
Hidalgo-
happen to you as a drummer, losing your fingers.
right.
And then on the right hand, he lost 2 full.
So
fingers.
how does he overcome that? And
He's compensating now. So he's playing with a stick on the left, so the dominant hand for him.
yes,
And with the right hand, he can still do very good sounds. Even though
So
he's
why
missing.
is he so good if he's deficient in these areas and he's not? And he's using
he's
a
just
stick.
a legend. He's just a legend. He started playing in the 70s. He
What
was
before
already,
he lost his fingers?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. He's older now. He's about 70. I think he's 72.
Oh, well, this I've just looked
Yeah.
up Hidalgo. This is Hidalgo Jr. This must be his son, is it? Because it said he was born in 1984 and he's an American drummer who plays in the punk rock band Social Distortion. That's not
No,
him.
different guy. So look for Giovanni.
Italian. He's Italian.
Giovanni. That's a
Okay.
very Italian name, but he's Puerto Rican. Yeah.
Okay.
Giovanni.
Okay. Juan
Hidalgo.
Pablo. I don't
Yeah.
know why that came up then.
And
He's
this
a-
type of drumming is it popular in Chile or are you
Not
just
really.
unique?
Not
You-
really. In Chile, we listen to a lot of European kind of music, American as well. We don't salsa. We don't dance at all.
So why
We
did you
just-
get into it?
I lived in the States for
Oh.
6 years, and I ran across a lot of Latin people from the Caribbean, and I just loved their energy,
Here we
the way they
are.
play music,
Here
the way
we
they
go.
dance. And I used to be a drummer back in high school, so I played with the sticks.
All right.
And then I got introduced to the African
So where can
drum.
people see you at Graceland?
Yeah, I play at Graceland sometimes.
Now that's
I'm
out
all
in
over the
Western
place.
Western Melbourne, isn't it? West of Melbourne.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
crossing the
found
beach,
him. Yep, we've
Westgate
got
Beach.
him here. He's born in 1963.
Yeah, that one.
And there he is. So he's a star. We've got him. Well, look, Juan Pablo, this is so. What you come in for? You got a gig? Would you go
No, I
around
just
playing?
came by to say hi because I haven't really met Jack in person, and he's already hired me for a few gigs.
Good. Well, that's very nice to see you. Good-looking young lad,
Thank
man,
you.
person.
You guys too, yeah.
No,
Good
this is,
to
how
meet
old are you?
35.
Wow, what a very sharp-looking man, Don.
He's 90.
Well, you're sharper then because you're 90.
In 90.
Oh, it's amazing what a bit of Botox and a few needles will do, Juan Pablo.
Yeah. Don's not long out of a facility. We allow him out. I
Just
take
on
him
a
out on.
Wednesday.
I take him out on day release a couple of times a month, and this is his outing. And he's not too. He's a so, but we try and smother him a bit because he's a fuckwit. Juan Pablo, delightful to see you. Anyhow,
You
all
too,
the
yeah.
best with
Thanks for having me
the
on the
Latin
show.
drumming, and give our
Perhaps
regards.
something you beat something out on the tabletop before you leave.
this is how I
Okay, put the
practice,
mic. Johnny, set it up, please. Can you do an
Hang
on.
on a minute, just a minute.
Bring the microphone over so we can listen.
Shut the fuck up, John. Righto, this is Juan Pablo. I've just got the microphone
Doing
down here.
some raw drumming.
Righto.
Very good. All
That is-
right.
that is-
Excellent.
Graceland.
That is-
Graceland.
Actually mesmerising. That was.
Yeah, I know you were mesmerised. I know. For
No,
the
I
first time,
thought-
you shut up.
That's how you play conga. You use the bass in your hand and the tip. Like this. I've come to a workshop for you guys.
Well, what a.
We're
See you next
Graceland. Graceland.
All the best, Juan Pablo.
Thanks for having me.
How extraordinary.
Very good.
Now, Don, just before Juan Pablo made an entrance, I mentioned camel milk. Did you hear me say camel
No,
milk?
you're talking about the
Someone-
ambidextrous hostess.
Who?
Ambidextrous.
Well, wasn't she
host-
or LBG? I don't know.
What the fuck? What?
I don't know. I'm thrown now.
Ambidextrous. I, don't know.
I
I'll
mentioned,
Google
Don,
it.
I mentioned
Camel's milk.
they've,
No, you didn't.
well, they've now said that camel milk
Hey,
is
listen. How long this section's been going? You remember the
listener.
listener,
Don, we've
the
been
attention
doing it,
span of our listener.
We've been doing it half an hour. And this is the
I hope
final
this is the
segment.
last. I hope this is the last topic.
I'm trying to bring topics up because you bring none. And nor do you, Ivan. Camel milk, they said,
It's
is
your
a...
show.
Camel milk, they said, they've found out has
What?
properties that aid health, like diabetes and dementia. Camel milk. Who do you reckon did the study? I'm making this up.
An Arab.
I reckon the people who own camels made this up so that prices of camels. Do you know they have beauty contests in Saudi Arabia for camels, and they Botox
Confirmation.
them? They Botox the camels so they don't have too many wrinkles in their hooter. You can look that up, Ivan. They have.
Now, hang on, the
beauty
hooter is where the arse or the.
Look up beauty
The
pageants.
Which end is the
Cybersecurity
hooter?
Department of Work are going to wonder what the hell's going on.
Ivan, look up camel beauty pageants, and they Botox them.
They're confirmation classes.
They
just
Botox them before they actually have sex with them. No, I made that up. They don't have sex with the camels.
No.
Where is the hooter?
Hooter's your nose.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean, where's your hooter?
Well, you said hooter, and I'm thinking, where the?
No, here we go.
Which end is the hooter?
No, Ivan, here we go.
Here we go. The first thing comes up. Camel wins beauty contest in Qatar
Yep.
festival without undergoing Botox surgery.
There you are, Don. They Botox the camels. It's a social status to have the best looking camel. Can you believe it?
Yes.
You can believe it.
Yes.
You idiot. You think I make most all these things up. So someone's found out that their properties in camel milk are help your health. Who would bring that up? Who would make that study? Then when they said coffee was good for you and black chocolate or dark chocolate and meat and fucking, it's extraordinary. It goes, go on, what, Ivan?
So 43 camels were disqualified because they were found to be given drug enhancements.
Yeah, that's right. Breast
And the
implants.
winner had to be x-rayed to prove it was not surgically improved.
There you are, Don. Have facelift
Maybe
for a camel.
Donald Trump can do that with his
What with his what?
Miss World contest.
I thought you were going to say with his missus. I don't think she needs any enhancement.
Could we put you in a camel? No, they'd disqualify you, wouldn't they?
But put me in a
Botox.
camel costume.
Yeah, I was just going to say they'd disqualify you.
Put me in a camel costume.
No, contest.
We could go as a. We could
No,
go to
because you've had
children's.
he's drug infused.
We could go to kids' parties as dressed
What,
up as camels.
zig and zag?
I could put the head on, and you could just be yourself. I could put the head part on, you could just be yourself at the arse end. Now, Don, and now finally, this is my final thing.
Oh, I hope so.
This proves a lie to the bullshit we went through for 3 years with the COVID nonsense about masks and self-distancing and not touching things. They said touch screens are the greatest source of infection because they found all the touch screens on ATMs and things that you touch for directions at supermarkets or things that you touch have fecal matter, shit, have traces of shit, traces of vomit, traces of urine on them. And so when you put a mask on and wash your hands, but go and are allowed to touch ATM machines that spit out the money or Visa machines, credit card machines where you have to press the your code
FPOS
in.
machines.
FPOS machines where you have to press your code in. All when you go and fill your car up with petrol and you hang on to the nozzle, all these things have more contamination on them than all the bullshit that you had to do by wearing a mask and self-distancing and all that crap that the Premier started with golf. And they said you couldn't play golf. And he just was an absolute tool. And all his, that Van Diemen woman and the bloody
Van Diemen?
health woman, the health minister, Sutton, they just made it up as they went. They were full of shit. And so someone said that the touch screens that you go around with, that they're out in the community, are
They're
just
a
have
Petri
more.
dish.
Have what?
They're a Petri dish of
A Petri
COVID.
dish. A Petri dish of COVID, Don.
Well, I just hope Paul and Jack have enjoyed these 3 segments.
Who?
Paul and Jack, the tradies from the peninsula.
What are they? Is that husband and husband team?
Could be.
It could be. Well, did one of them have a wedding ring on?
You don't have to have a wedding
I
ring
just-
on to be
I-
in a relationship.
Of course you don't, Don.
Yeah.
I was just saying. Some people, when they're married, like to show they're married, and they put on a wedding ring. You ripped yours off at the drop of a hat whenever you were out so socially or publicly. When I was with you, you used to wear one. You say, "Oh, those are good-looking bird," and you'd fucking whip it off. You could hear it coming off, and it'd go off. It'd come. and you said, shit, I hope I don't lose it because they're going to put it back on when I get home. Don, Ivan, it's been
So I
great.
don't know who wears the wedding ring. Do you think both Paul or Jack would wear it?
He might wear a wedding ring. No, I don't know.
They just might be emotionally
cock
tied. They might be emotionally tied, very strong.
One of them might wear a cock ring, Don.
A what type of ring?
Another ring, sort of ring. Remember when we spoke to Lana?
Remember?
Lana.
Remember when we spoke to Lana?
From America?
Yeah.
Oh, the...
Is that your phone, Ivan?
No.
It's not mine either.
No, that
We
only
spoke-
leaves one person.
Whose phone would that be, do you think?
We spoke to Lana, who said that her, and you said, or someone said, why did you keep mentioning this? Are you obsessed with this sort of stuff? She said her...
Oh, you're obsessed with all this stuff.
You said that.
Yeah, about you. You're into all of this.
She said that when she
I think you're a
spoke
bit,
to
I think
people
you're a
on the...
little
When she
I think you're a little perverted, really.
When she spoke to clients
Sickening.
on the Zoom and they showed them their bits and pieces because she was talking
okay,
dirty
you
to them.
How do you know she was talking?
She said that's what some clients like to be spoken dirty to, and she's good at that. And I said, could you speak
I
dirty
wonder
to
if
me?
she's
And she
getting
said
many.
no.
She's getting many people ringing from Australia after.
Well,
that.
I don't know.
Such
Don.
as Michael Christian, maybe.
Michael Christian Menswear.
no.
MichaelChristianWinsmere.com. Dot up your ass. He might be speaking to her. Maybe Mick is trying to add a bit of spice to his marriage, and maybe his wife comes along and the three of them chat over the Zoom machine.
Well, he might be getting.
He
might be getting some material for his comedy act.
No,
Or
he's
what-
got plenty of that. They
Has
keep
he?
sending it from all around Australia.
To
He
him?
said some of the bluest jokes. And I said, he said, I can't send you them.
Is
because
it
you
Rodney
can't.
Rude? Does he write for Rodney Rude?
He got nits. Nits, fucking nits. That's what Rodney Rude used to say. He got fucking nits. Now, all right. Well, now, Don.
Anyway, Paul and Jack, I hope you enjoyed these three segments.
So there's something going on with Paul and Jack and you. That's the fourth time you've mentioned them. Are they doing work for you for nothing, or are you paying them, or do you owe them money, or what?
Well,
You're not.
He has
This
to
is
go
not
around and collect
This is
some
not a
money.
This is not a trifecta, is it, Don? You're not bumming around with them, are you? What sort of car do they drive? What a little Austin Healey or something?
No, if you're a tradie, you drive a tradie truck. You know, you've got all the...
A Ranger.
A raptor.
No, not
A Raptor.
Ranger. That's a bit upmarket for a tradie.
Oh, what a Nissan
Navara.
Navara. Well done, Ivan. I couldn't think of the name. Navara. A Navara or a
Just
Mazda?
just an ordinary trade truck with
No, the one you've got.
a bit more, bit better than mine.
Don, that you've built that yourself, that truck, haven't you? You've got an engine from somewhere and you found four wheels and you got a bit of iron and made an axle out of it, and the rest is fucked. I don't know how you could drive around in that. If you got onto a woman or a man or anyone that's standing erect and breathing and you called round to pick them up in that, seriously, they'd vomit on it. That is just not even a car. It's not even a vehicle. It's a...
Can I borrow the Lamborghini next time?
This would
Or
be
what,
good.
to go and do some mowing and pick up some hay bales for your horses. You'd have to put them in a very small boot. I'd like to see you put some hay bales in the front of the Lambo, Don. Moreover, I'd like to see you be able to drive it. All right, Ivan. Well, look, that's it. Ivan from...
Back to the mines.
Yeah, I was going to mention Ivan's had a very, very prestigious award given to his family. I'm not mentioning it, don't worry.
Jesus.
Hang on, what do you mean he's bought-
I'm not
No.
mentioning it. Don't
Well,
worry.
why would you entice or tempt? What's the word? What's the word I'm looking for?
Titillate?
Yeah, chintle. Yeah, that might be a good word.
Yeah, why would I?
Yeah, why would you do that?
Well, I'm not.
So you can't tell you anything.
Well, I'm
because you will open your mouth.
I'm not opening my mouth.
I will not. I will
Well,
not.
well,
even-
I'm not opening my mouth. No one has any idea what we're talking
Yes, you
about.
have. You've
Well, what did I
excited
say?
us.
Go on, what did I say?
Well, now we want to know what Ivan received the award for.
You know what? So you think he received an award? do
Yes.
you, by what I said?
Yes.
Well, you're completely speaking nonsense.
Well,
Don.
his wife did.
His wife received what?
An award.
I didn't say that.
I know, but you said the family, so I'm putting two and two together.
He
His
could have
wife received an award for something.
No, she didn't. I didn't say that.
You did. So
I
you
did
alluded.
not.
You alluded to that.
I did nothing of the
Yeah,
sort.
you
I
can't
said
tell you
the
anything.
family, his extended family.
Oh, extended now.
Well, how do you know what family?
Well,
I'm
it's
speaking about?
immediate family. It's not extended if it's his wife.
I didn't say it was his wife.
You did. You said family. Don't be
Don, it's your family. Have you got a wife?
No.
Right. Well, if I speak about your family, that doesn't include
he's
your wife.
married.
What?
He's married.
Don, if
Yeah,
I
I
speak
was.
about your family, you don't have a wife, so why do you say if I speak about Ivan's family, why do you assume that that's his wife? He's got brothers and sisters and cousins and relations and uncles and
Cats and
aunts.
dogs.
Cats and dogs.
In the unit.
In the unit.
In the unit, he's got cats and dogs.
Man, there's something.
We're
what
making all
is-
the we're sewing all the garments together for
Space Invaders was
michaelchristian.com.
made inside your head, Don. I tell you what, whatever the bloke who made Space Invaders,
Come on.
what's his name?
Hit the button.
Fuck me, Dad. It's fucking frightening.